I'll tell you about the price details, and then I have a question for you both. This is the 9-inch stacked animals and egg figure. Only order of the year. This is $59. 4 easy payments of $14.75. I need to tell you right now, that easy pay goes away at the end of the day. Cheerful, beautiful blooms, carried by that little baby bunny and the little chick. Who comes up with the names?
Well,
I want to know that.
Yeah.
Robin can address that.
Yeah, well, Jim came up with all of them for a very, very long time.
Yes.
And then people
They
started
were also
trying.
clever.
Yes, because
Yeah.
he has so much creativity. Nothing is hard for him. Then people would suggest things.
Right.
Like to name them. And every time I would show Jim the list, he'd be like, no. And then so he ultimately still names the
You
pieces.
name them all. I like that.
Well, you know, certain things just sort of speak to the piece, you know?
Right.
And like playful pile-up, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, you could say, oh, this is a stacked piece, you know, stacked, okay, it's stacked, you know? That's sort of bland. But playful pile-up, that sort of tells the
fun.
tale, you know?
It is. I need to tell everyone there's only 300 to go around. We're taking a close-up look. Look at his little vest, his blue eyes.
Cute.
That's what I love, those little
you
details.
know,
Tell me.
that reminds me of
Yeah.
what I meant to be talking about that I lost track of when I got, you know, the way I do. About the folk art thing.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
folk art is always so static.
Okay.
You know? I mean, it's expressionless and everything because usually the people that were doing it didn't have the skill
Right,
set
right.
to make it, you know.
Yeah.
But I've always started out with what the face looks like.
Yes,
Okay?
yeah.
The face tells the tale. You know, it's happy, it's sad, it's expectant, it's
Yes.
fearful. It's, you know, it's all those emotions
That's
and
mischievous.
everything. Yeah, you know, so it's there. You know.
Yes. You
And-
might drop that egg. That's what he
yeah,
looks
it's
like to
whoa,
me.
whoa, you know, it's
Yeah.
like the one on the bottom, you know. So, steady as she goes.
Yes.
You know, but yeah, a piece like this, you know, is playful, and it's I think a unique way to tell to tell the story, get all
Right.
the characters in there in a fairly small
Right.
footprint.
Yeah.
I do that with almost all of the lines. I've done it with all the, you know, I've got like Disney pieces with
Right.
Mickey Mouse and Goofy and
Yes,
you know, all the ones stacked up like this,
Right.
and it's in a thing like that. And then some of them are even more serious
Yeah.
subjects
Yeah.
that you know that are blended together artistically
Right.
to make actually an art-oriented piece.
Right.
Less whimsical, you know.
Yeah.
And so but it's a great way to express a story. And have all the elements and have all the characters and have everything going on. You can make up something about it, you know? Which,
Right.
I tell you what, kids love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I
They
see.
look at it and they use their own
Yes.
imaginations and their own creativity. That's one of the things that I've noticed and I've seen over the years that I find most heartwarming
Yeah.
is how children gravitate to this.
Well, now is the time that I think that we could call my mom and say all the times I got in trouble for playing with your pieces when I was little, I could have like escaped unscathed. This is so precious. And you know, you talked about kids. I think everyone is a kid at heart. And when you look at something like this, it just immediately kind of reminds you of those old feelings that you had. It's that perfect size as well. 9 inches tall. It's just about 2.5 inches wide at the base. So it fits in like perfectly to a bookshelf or on a mantelpiece, a tablescape. There's so many ways to decorate with
This
it.
is one of those pieces that you put out and people will, you know, in the family will
Yeah.
remember it. It's one of those things that will become a little bit of the family tradition and the family, you know,
Yeah.
the family history. And you know, but now everything I do, even if it's whimsical, I
Yeah.
want it to be looked at, sort of, not completely, but I mean,
Okay.
I want you to think in terms of it being a piece of artwork.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely.
I don't care that you don't have to look at it as artwork all the time, or you know, look at it seriously
Yeah.
like that. But every once in a while, I want people to look at these things and say, yes, that is indeed a good piece of artwork. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I do that test my own artwork, I learned from my grandmother. As I said, she was a quilter, and she did crazy quilts. You know,
Okay.
that look like random and everything,
Right.
but they're not. They're very planned out. The colorways and the balance and the syncopation and another
Yes.
word that I like. to throw around.
Syncopation, I like that.
But the balance and,
Yeah.
and what it tells story-wise, you know, is something. So she said, you know, when you look at a piece, your eyes should be wandering around that piece,
Yeah.
wandering and wandering and wandering. If it stops somewhere, that is wrong. Even if it's the best thing on the whole thing, it doesn't belong.
Right. Right.
You know.
You definitely do that with yours because every time I look at it, there's something different.
Yes. Isn't that nice, Robin, that you always see? So I need to tell everyone right now, there's less than 250 to go around. And you know, Jim, I read about this online. I Googled you, where that you say you're a storyteller. And that's what these pieces, you know, as you look at them, it tells that story because you look at their faces. You look at that little detail on their bodies, all that different carving and intricate hand-painted details. Because, you know, earlier, you said these are works of art, and they are, because that's what you're shopping for. Handcrafted, hand-painted works of art that you have an opportunity to bring home today for an easy payment of $14.75, and that you get to love and cherish them for a lifetime to come.
That's awesome.
And once again, this is a piece that you can use as a decorative piece along with some of these other pieces.
Oh, I can't wait to create that tablescape.
Oh, just have a cluster of stuff. You know,
Yes.
it's just great.
I love that. This is H482601, our 9-inch stacked animals and egg figure, new today. And now it's time to bring you something